Hello, everybody. Welcome to another off-season episode of Alta Call MAFS. I am your host, Tane, here to talk about Welcome to Plathville today, and my co-host for this season, Brian. Hi, Brian. How you doing?
I'm relieved that we're through with this. I think this was not like a not entertaining season, but it was an anxiety attack each episode, pretty much.
It just kept getting darker and
Mm-hmm.
darker, and I had no idea that this was the finale. And this is a new thing with TLC. We're just watching stuff, and it's like, oh, season finale. I'm like, oh,
Yep,
okay.
surprise.
I had to check that it wasn't 6 episodes because a lot of shows on TLC. I think I watched. Was it £1,000 Roommates? Don't ask me how I got on that.
Oh, that came and went.
And I was like, that was the end, and it was just 6 episodes, and then Polyfamily, we went on there, and then that was the end, 6 episodes. So this was 11 episodes, so good for them. They almost doubled it, but right time. They should have just ended at Lydia's wedding, but I think the fight gave them something extra, and maybe that's why we got 11. Maybe it was meant to be 10.
I think it
And
was supposed to be 10.
yeah,
There was a rumor that I heard it was supposed to be 10. Then they had them come back to film the meeting with Barry and Kim, and then
hmm
also the meeting with Kim and Ethan hanging out together. And
yeah,
then Olivia and Ethan was all tacked on at the end later on, which kind of makes sense because you could have edited down last week's episode and had that little bit. I didn't need to see Veronica yell at 40 minutes straight. You could have done that in 2 minutes at the end of the episode, but I think they wanted to kind of fill out some more space because 11's a weird number. 12 makes sense. 10 makes sense. Odd
yeah,
numbers are kind of weird to see on a TV show like that.
yeah. But hey, add money. Money
Right?
kills everything.
People are
So
watching.
I think this could be called like just a recap of the season finale. I mean, not much happened the episode before where it was just more, well, I shouldn't say not much happened. That's when the fight happened and Micah lost a sliver of his nose. And
Yeah.
that was where the gang up started.
Mm-hmm.
I am Ethan is not doing himself. We are going to get into the whole Ethan and Olivia meetup, but he's not doing himself any favors or beating any allegations of all of the things that Olivia has been saying about him
No.
because that temper, boy,
This
like,
man has changed so much.
I
Like,
just, where is
remember
it
how
coming
happy and fun
from?
he was in the
Yeah,
beginning
with
of
his
the
dad
show?
jokes and his discovery of new things, and now we're flinging seashells. Just, it's like throwing a temper tantrum as an adult.
Right?
And he it's your sister's wedding. I think that's the most important thing. If it's
Yes.
your shindig, your friends, your whatever, you first of all pick a fight with her husband that she has chosen to be with, make
Mm-hmm.
peace with it. You do a day before intervention, stupid. Then the day of flinging seashells, she's not sitting here. It's still your brother's girlfriend. He's choosing to still be with her. He chose to
Yep.
bring her to the wedding, going to Mariah and saying, I hope you're not trying to make up with her. I hope you know that this is her. She's just using you. Is this the time, Ethan?
It's
Is it?
nuts. It's nuts. I can think back, right? I've been to many a wedding in my day, and I've never been to a wedding where I felt like it was my role to kind of ruin anything. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can think back. I went to one of my best friend's wedding. Hated his wife. Hated her guts. Hated her guts when they were dating. Hated her as a fiance. She broke up my band. Like, I did not like this woman, and I still went to the wedding and stood up at the wedding and gave it my absolute best. I was hugging people. I cried. Like, my friend is happy. I'm be happy for my friend.
Yeah.
I don't understand this because I don't like this person, I'm going to act like an ass for the whole ceremony. Like, especially when we know Lydia is just like sweetness and light.
Yeah.
Looking at how happy she was on that day, I could not act an ass at her wedding. I'd be like, man, look how happy she is. I'll be here when everything falls apart, but this is a happy day for her. I'm going to let it be a happy day for her.
Or do what most people do, be passive aggressive, sit there and sulk. I'll take
Sure.
that. I mean, that's not even a great option. But if you have to act up in some way, I think just sit there, sulk. That's better than drawing attention to yourself And
Mm-hmm.
remember the day before at the rehearsal, he drove or he did like donuts with the car. I'm
Oh, he
exaggerating, but
almost killed people.
you know,
Like,
whatever he's doing at the proposal, you were starting
mm-hmm.
fires. You were doing like, why are you
Throwing chairs and tables around.
so obvious about
No,
things? I
listen.
don't understand. Like, why is your anger that strong? Like, ignore. Just ignore.
Anger is that strong for a man who's done nothing to you. He's not been mean to Ethan. He has not cheated on Lydia. He's not said anything bad about anyone in the family. He just doesn't like this man because he thinks this man is gay. And like, again, not beating the allegations that you're homophobic. If this is how you react because you think someone might be gay, like you're starting fires and throwing things, it's not great. I
Well,
I,
at
I
this
can't
point,
I can't
wasn't it?
fathom it.
Well, at this point, wasn't it a okay? Yeah, the fire and that. But at this point, I was saying like it was he shifted his anger to Veronica. I think once he
Yeah,
realized there's nothing he can do about Zach, then he's like, okay, I'm mad at Veronica now. And then you're
yeah.
going to Mariah looked scared. Like what? What? Why? What? What I do?
I will say this about Mariah. I've said it before about Jax Taylor. It feels irresponsible to put her on TV in this moment.
Uh,
Like she's going through something. We
yeah,
don't know what it is. We know this woman enough to know, like, oh, something's wrong with her right now.
yeah,
And to put her on camera, I'm like, man, she's not all there. Like something's going on.
yeah,
This feels irresponsible.
yeah, 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 yeah. It does. On the bright side, our MVP, Amber, her speech was great. I mean, she's the only speech
Yep.
that we got to hear. I don't know if
Mhm.
Mariah didn't give a speech.
Oh, we saw Barry's speech.
Well, yeah, I was going to like her speech was very, very long, and it was just okay. Read the room, sir. But he doesn't have
Mm-hmm.
many friends, so
No, well, and
no.
I've experienced this at a wedding before as well. We were at a wedding. It was the hottest day of the year. We were sitting outside sweating. The father of the bride got up and gave his speech, and at one point said, "Oh, let's see, what else?" And I was like, "You didn't prepare?" And then he jokingly said, "If I'm going on too long, just tell me to shut up." And someone yelled, "Shut the fuck up!" I'm assuming it was like a family member or something. But like, no, man, give it a tight 3 or 4, and then sit the fuck down.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah. Eventually, he ended. Thank God. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that Mariah, no, not Mariah, Veronica, making Micah miss most of his sister's wedding to me
It's
is
messed up,
unforgivable because I mean, at some point, the man was asking permission. Can I go sit with them? She was like, you can do whatever you want. But that was a
right?
loaded statement. It was more like, if you go there, I know you're choosing them once
Mm-hmm.
again over me and you're abandoning me. And then that shot of them inside the house eating whatever it was
Oh my
while
god.
everything was going on. Ugh.
You're right, unforgivable. You're making me miss a very important day in my family's life, in my sister's life, and for no reason. You don't have beef with Lydia. You don't have beef with Zach. Like, why are you in here being a sad sack? You could at
Yeah.
least go and be happy for those two.
Yeah. So to lay the ground on the big fight, it was I can't remember if we covered it in the last one. Micah was walking with one of the girlfriends and
The non-Tegan one.
the not
The other one.
the other one, Keely or Keelan? Um
Kaylin.
Caitlin. Oh, Kaylin.
Kaylin, I
And
think it's Kaylin.
okay. And she thought that he was walking alongside Tegan, and I guess she mentioned the slut.
Mm.
And Isaac was not happy about that. Then, not off camera, or maybe it was on camera and they chose not to show it. I don't know. They were exchanging words. I think what I'm curious about. Okay, let me finish. They were exchanging words. Punches were thrown. Micah lost the tip of his nose.
I thought he got cut. When I saw the picture, I'm like, oh shit, did he have a knife? It's a
Yeah,
very clean cut through this guy's nose.
it is. And I think what I want to know, I know why Isaac is mad. Isaac is mad because you're disrespecting my girlfriend. Why are you saying that? Micah,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, agrees with all the negative things they have to say about Veronica. What was he fighting for?
Bush
Like,
Light,
was he
y'all were just drunk.
standing? You think that's what was he standing up for her honor? Because Isaac says he threw the first punch. Again, I don't know who's telling the truth. He said he
Right.
threw the first punch and he was saying stuff. So, what exactly, if Micah agrees with them, what was Micah saying?
I I think it's a couple things. Number one, I think everyone is blackout drunk at this point. Like I have been there with friends before where all of a sudden people are fighting and it's
Mm-hmm.
like you guys are best friends. I don't know why. I have pulled a sword on a friend before. I wasn't gonna do anything. It wasn't sharp. It was one of those decorative pieces, but I got mad. I didn't like charge at it, but I had it in my hand. Right? So like I was 25. It was a different time.
Brian, I'm
But
never ready for your stories.
no, they're all bad. They all go like that. But I mean, I think that's part of it is I'm assuming they were pretty hammered. And I think that there's a part where I think Isaac told Micah, I've lost all respect for you because you're with her. And like those are fighting words. I don't fight
Hmm.
anymore. I'm too old. My back is bad. But like I could see being his age and being like, oh shit, I'm your big brother and you don't respect me anymore. Like now we have to fight over this. My brother wouldn't fight me over that, but I'm not a South Georgia hillbilly, so who could I say? But I that it just feels like one of those things that it started off a little bit light, and as it kept on going,
Hmm.
they got angrier and angrier without saying, "Hey man, like knock it off." And now
Yeah.
all of a sudden we're on the ground tussling.
Yeah. That's why we need a reunion. We
Right?
need like
This show deserves a reunion.
a Sean Robinson, a Sukinya, someone saying,
Yeah,
walk
get
us
Sookie
how
on
we
this.
got there. How did we get to that point where you lost a part of your nose? But
For real.
we'll never know.
Mm-mm.
But okay, the next day they decide they need to talk it out because I think Veronica wasn't even aware of what happened, and then they're going out there and they're going to the hospital. She's trying to find plastic surgeons for his nose, and they must have done a good job because I mean, at the confessionals, you can't really see it
Yeah.
because before
It looks
then
all
there's
right.
like a X marks the spot on his on,
There's
on
pirate
his
booty in there,
nose.
you're right.
So they decide to have a family conversation, and everybody's there. And by everybody, I mean Ethan, Tegan, Veronica, Micah, Isaac, Kaylin, Kim, and then at some point, Amber. Why was Amber there?
Amber's there. Mariah pokes her head in and runs away. Barry's nowhere to be seen.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Why is Barry not here? Is this a Kim tactic? Listen, maybe I'm being unfair. I just
Nope.
never think Kim's intentions are pure. There's
Mm-mm.
always some end game to it, and she's trying to I'm about to pass out.
I got you.
Ingratiate.
Ingratiate.
Ingratiate. English is hard. Ingratiate herself with her sons, right, or her children, and
Hmm.
trying to be their friends, even though she accuses Barry of the same thing, but she's doing it in a different way. Why was Barry not here? Part of Veronica's anger is that she says Barry called her a liar. Why is
Yep.
he not there?
I think he's basically like, look, man, I wasn't there for the fight. I got myself a nice warm glass of kombucha and went to bed at 9 p.m. I'm not going to be involved in any of this nonsense. Like Kim, since you want to be all in it, you be all in it. Like I will be outside with the three little kids whose names I forget.
Do we even know them? Yes, we
What
do.
was it? One of them like Celeste or something?
I
The
have
little
no idea.
ones.
But I think Kim treats Ethan like he's the head of the family. She acts like almost like Barry's dead and gone, and
Yeah.
like Ethan stepped up to the shoes. Like she goes to him for everything. Like all the concerns you were having, did you have those conversations with her actual father?
No.
No.
Guarantee no.
You just went to Ethan and you see that he's getting riled up, and it's almost like, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. But they have this meeting and they start talking about the fight. And Veronica thinks they're coming there to talk about, how did brothers get to the point and all that. I don't know when it shifted. And all we heard is, it's because of you. They say
Because
fight
of you
because
and
of
your
you.
actions.
Veronica's like, wait, she cut his brother because of me? And then
When I was in a whole other county.
the whole barrage started, and I cannot
Oh,
believe it, but I actually felt bad for her. But
I did too. It,
yeah,
this felt it felt unfair. Number one, because she didn't expect this. Like she came over thinking I need to take care of my injured boyfriend
yeah,
and shame his family for getting into fisticuffs on a wedding day. She walked in and it's like, oh shit, everyone has guns pointed at me as I walk into the house,
hmm,
and I have to just sit here and let them shoot. I guess because like she couldn't leave. I guess she could have. I mean, I would
yeah,
have. But she just had to sit there, and I'd imagine this went on for an hour at least. Like they
yeah.
had to edit this way down, I'm sure.
Yeah. Wait, let's take a quick break and be right back to talk in depth about this very weird family meeting. Okay, and we're back. I think the most surprising thing about this for me is Veronica's demeanor. This is not the
Mm-hmm.
Veronica I know, and this is not the Micah I know. Micah had
No.
the strength of 1,000 men. With his
Yep.
family around him, all the power sources came to him. He is yelling back at her. He's like
Got the
standing up
face.
for Veronica and telling her, "You have to change." And like we said, Veronica's unhinged, but this was a gang up. This
Yeah.
was absolutely a gang up.
An
Like,
ambush gang of the worst kind.
yeah, and like the multiple people yelling at you like so many times at the same time. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's like at some point it became an Olivia bashing session. Listen, this family is not going to forgive Olivia for exposing whatever it is that they are and who they are,
No.
and the whole thing that happened. So when they bring her up, I'm just like, oh wait, where did she come from? And then Veronica is like, she's a good woman, and then they're just using her as a mascot, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
well, that tells us everything we need to know. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, it's nuts to me. She might as well be Voldemort to this family. Like they treat her like she's the devil, and I'm
Yeah.
like, all she did was continue to evolve as a person and not freeze in place.
Yeah.
Like Micah has clearly evolved from who he was back then because he was a smiling dope when they got together, and now he's the world's like angriest man. She
Hmm.
just continued to evolve, and he didn't, and that's okay. That's why y'all
Hmm.
split up. It is not as though she made up all of these things that were problems with the family. She was reflecting what he was telling her. She
Hmm.
didn't make up all the stuff with Kim. She was like, okay, I listened to you complain about your mom all the time. Like that they make it out like she was rubbing her hands together and like twirling her mustache trying to break up this family. She was standing by her husband. And then her husband switched and is like, well, all the things that you said, unforgivable. Like I'm telling you what you told me. Oh,
Well,
I feel bad for her. I'm happy she's out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I, we'll get there, but I think like they did corner her about the whole OnlyFans thing,
This is
and
bad.
it was not a good look because she's been
No.
so sure and so everything. It's like a keyboard warrior where you type
Mm-hmm.
behind the screen and suddenly they confront you in your face, and she couldn't bring it up. And then when she did bring it up, she was like, "Well, it might be clickbait. Like I don't know." And they're like, "Well, why would you even say it? Like
Yeah.
why?" If you knew that it might be, and then when the producers that's asking her about that, she's doubling down and she's like, she's not wrong about Tegan. And then Micah does, a terrible thing and compares her to the other women. He's like, two beautiful women. I'm like, Mike, no, that was
No.
Ethan. And I'm like, Ethan,
Yeah.
Ethan was speaking the entire time. The entire
Yeah.
time, he didn't let anybody else speak.
No. No. And really, if she was a savvier reality TV personality, she could have played this a lot better. Because what she could have done is say, hey, listen, there's this obvious bullshit clickbait article about your brother's girlfriend. I want to let her know this is out there so that she's not caught unawares of it. And so she knows what's being said about her, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that on the way to the wedding, now you have disarmed Ethan entirely because you've shown yourself to be like a loyal part of this family. What's he going to say about you? Instead, you made this into a whole thing where now you're going to be afraid that Mike is going to cheat on you with her. And I know it's her. And I'm just like, dummy, I mean, clickbait's obvious. Like you look at it and it's like, oh, this is from whatever fake news daily. Oh, I'll believe that. Like she could have handled this and played this so much better. And even in this fight, she's insisting, no, I know it's her. I'll bring it up on my phone. It reminded me of David with the Chinese food. What are you looking through your phone for? It's not in there. Like you're masquerading looking through your phone for nothing? Like what are you doing?
He's talking about maps, guys.
Uh-huh.
David the cheater.
Yeah, the sloppy one, not good at it.
Yeah, I mean, second though, I did think that Veronica was being vulnerable, where she was just like, maybe I just said it because I was scared of being cheated on because he's been cheating on me. But then I was reminded that she throws that out every time. If you choose to stay with someone who cheated on you, part of the deal is you kind of have to forgive it and let it go.
Yep.
Everything can be, you didn't do the dishes, you cheated on them just like you cheated on me. You didn't wipe the toilet seat down. because you're a cheater and all that. So you can't
I,
say, "Oh, I accuse her of having an OnlyFans because you cheated on me, so you are gonna cheat on me." And it backfired because these Plaths, they're like, "How disrespectful! How dare you say like he'll cheat on me with his brother's?" And that was a whole other thing. And I, Kim,
mm,
Kim, just going
Kim.
on and on when Veronica's like, "Wait, so you're saying this is my fault?" And they're like, "Yeah, you created the high emotions that led to the fight." And I'm like, "Kim, this is all you're doing. These are your children.
Yep.
These are your children who, even if they're high emotions, oh, I don't know if you've heard, but life comes with high emotions. And it doesn't mean that every time you experience high emotions, you go hit somebody else or start a fire or throw things. This is you. This is how we get men who act a certain way.
Yep.
Why are you? I'm not putting all the blame on Kim. Like, I'm just, Kim was the only one that was here because Barry
Because
wasn't there.
Barry's hiding.
Both parents equally culpable, but
Hmm.
she's the one that was here, and she's the one who was like, "You're seeing a woman being ganged up on. You see your two sons fight. Not a one time are we even saying like, you guys, bad behavior. You should never have gone to that point. You should never
No.
do that to your brother. Even if alcohol was involved, you should have gone to bed. You should have anything. Just simply." You created high emotions. If you never said this, if you never did this, then this wouldn't happen. This might be extreme, but this is equivalent to like I'm not saying they're doing it. I just everyone listen carefully. I'm just saying like for hypothetical examples,
Whatever this is, I'm saying they're doing it.
hypothetical example, if in a situation where a man is hitting a woman, this is the equivalent of someone telling the woman like, well, if you hadn't done anything to provoke him, then he
Yep.
wouldn't have done that. That's bullshit, and we cannot continue to encourage this crazy behavior. You can say, Veronica, you did certain things, you escalated things, like that was disrespectful, you said this to me, you said that about me, but at the same time tell the man like you have to get control of yourself. Like, what
Yeah.
is this putting this just on Veronica? That was disgusting to me. I don't understand how they can't. These reality people have the opportunity to see themselves on TV. We don't.
Yes.
We're just shitty people because we don't know. But they know. You're
Exactly.
you're on
But
TV.
listen, she has both of them have raised a gaggle of emotionally dysregulated children. Like none of these kids. I hope Hosanna can do better, but like none of these people handle their emotions well at all. And I think that, at some point you have to turn and look inward and go, oh, did we mess up along the way? Like my
Mhm,
son is 6, he'll be 7 in January. We do all kinds of shit about having big emotions. And what do we do if we have a big feeling about something? And is this a big deal or a small deal? Daniel Tiger works wonders for kids that have like emotional big feelings and they want to learn how to handle that. I get the impression they didn't do any of that.
mhm,
It was either if you're mad, pick up that banjo. If you're mad, go into the prayer closet, make some kombucha, go run outside barefoot. But it didn't seem like they ever said, hey, I understand that you're having a hard time dealing with how this feels.
mhm,
That's understandable. Here are some things that I do when I'm having a hard time with my emotions that I think you ought to try out. Like,
mhm.
it's important to do that stuff with your kids. And it doesn't seem like they did that. And instead, it's just if you're mad about something, find an outsider to blame. It's all their fault. It's like, well, this is not a healthy way to handle this.
Yeah, it is not at all. At some point, Ethan asked Veronica, "Why did you come to the wedding?" And she was like, "To support Micah." And Ethan was like, "You have not done that. Like the cows didn't need your support." And Tegan
Nope,
starts
that was a bar.
laughing. And I'm not gonna lie, I was laughing right along because I thought that was a little bit funny because like it's
That
true.
was a bar. Yeah. No, the cows. He's like, the cows are gonna get fat now because you're feeding them too much. I'm like, all right, you got a bar. That was okay. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, she was with the cows all along. But it's true. If you were gonna come here, make a whole scene, but I mean her reasoning in her mind was that she was coming to make sure that for some reason Micah doesn't fuck Tegan. Because in her
Right.
I just don't understand. And I hope she continues with the therapy because besides Micah, just making sure working on all that, because of course
Mm-hmm.
it's unfair for everyone to have called her like, masculine and her not feeling pretty, which by the way,
Yep.
as an aside, just throughout the whole gang up, I just thought she looked so pretty. Like
Yeah.
mascara, everything.
Yeah.
And these are things that she has to deal with. She's dealt with all this with the family and whatever else that we don't know about. Because again, much to my chagrin, we did not meet her parents. I want to meet her
Right.
family. I want to know what Veronica's background is. Like, even when we got the flashback of them when they first started dating, I'm like, who is this woman? Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is not the Veronica, that we know.
No.
So,
Give me a friend at least. Give me somebody else who knows her, who can give me a perspective for what we need is that friend who's been like, I've known you for a long time. This relationship isn't good for you. I see that it's affecting you in this way, or you used to be more bubbly or something. We have no idea who she is on her own. And
mm-hmm.
so it's hard to kind of say, okay, is she always like this intense and this kind of reactionary, or has this family done this to her like they did to Olivia?
Yeah, we only know her through the lens of the Plath family.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And
So.
especially through Micah's lens, where you're cheating on her all the time. So like your lens is not reliable.
Yeah, so Micah's like he needs to choose what he's gonna do because it has to be his family or her. And he thinks like, you know what? We need to leave. And once we leave, we're done. I'm like, wait, why was this so hard to do all along? Like, what is the thing
Mm-hmm.
that changed? Something empowered Micah and something the opposite unempowered Veronica because
Mm-hmm.
all that energy, all those threats, all those everything did not come out. And Micah didn't seem scared, like, you know what, expose whatever it is that you're going to. But there was a shift somewhere, and I
Yeah.
wish I knew what it was, but I don't know.
I mean, I could speculate. I feel like, obviously it takes some time to get from Cairo to Tallahassee. There's some time you're at the hospital before you go in, you're driving back. They were awake for a good amount of time before she came over. I think it was just Kim and Ethan gassing him up the entire time about like, you have to leave this woman. She fucking sucks. Like, she's ruined our whole family. She's the reason you got hit. She's the cause of every problem this whole family has, fully ignoring the fact that 2 days prior, y'all tried to corner Lydia to get her to leave her man. And Kim's over here like, everyone gets along perfectly fine except for you.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think that he just got like gassed up on this. I mean, I have been there before where I've had a friend who needed to break up with a girl and kind of didn't really have the courage to do it. And so for a while, all of us were like, okay, here's all the pros and cons. The one pro is like, you like her. Here's 45 minutes of cons about why she sucks. And then by the end of it, he's like, yeah, no, she does suck. Like, I think that's just what happened. They fired him up. And then by the time that she got there, he's like, yeah, no, I'm ready to end this now because you suck and everyone agrees and you're the problem.
I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how anyone would want to date into this family after this. This is a lot.
No. Yeah.
So as soon as
Tegan
he
had to be
says
terrified.
as soon as he says they were done, Isaac is like, yeah, I'm gonna come and I'm gonna help you pack. And I'm like, okay. And then Ethan tells her, like, and I'll tell you one thing,
Oh boy.
you missed out on a good family. And that was hilarious. That
The
that
way I would
was
have busted up laughing.
that was so funny. Like, trust me, there's way too much drama for me to think like I missed out on a good family. And then they all get up and they all walk away and they're like, nice knowing you. And I'm like, if this isn't cultish at its best, but I don't
Right.
know. It
I
was
mean, I
just
would have become Bronwyn from Salt Lake City so fast. Like, oh, I'm missing out on a good family. The good family of one of these dudes just tried to kill the other one, broke his nose all the way off, and where Hosanna doesn't want to be around y'all. Like, that's the good family. Oh no! Like, I would have gotten so petty.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know who this Veronica was. She didn't say anything.
No,
In fact, she was
she
crying.
was shocked. I think she
Yes.
just got emotionally shut down.
Oh, this is crazy. She was crying to the producer, telling the producer that she deserves more. And Kim could hear her because she was still in the living room. And Kim was like, yeah. No, she was saying like she deserves a family that didn't talk about her or treat her that way. And Kim was like, not me. Like, I was
Mm-hmm.
with you and I was, nice to you. And Veronica's like, I guess when they went low, I went lower. She's taking accountability, and that's weird. I don't know who this
Yeah.
Veronica is. And she actually apologizes to Kim.
Mm-hmm.
And Kim was like, yeah, I don't believe it. Like,
I don't want
I
to hear
know
it.
enough of you. I don't want to do it. I don't want to have anything to do with you. And that's it. And then they flash back to 4 months prior when she said she was adding flame to the fire. And this is Brian's proof that backs up his theory that she came on the show to break up with Micah. So I'll
Yep.
give you.
Listen, first things first, I deserve that. Secondly, I should play the lottery tonight because I feel like I'm on a hot streak. But like, I think that she planned this out and then couldn't execute it. Like, she had everything laid out for her to have this be the season where she exposes them and then dumps Micah at the end.
Yeah.
Instead, she exposed herself for being a sloppy player and then got dumped. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't do it right, but you had the right idea.
Yeah, she got before she could do it. She does
Mm-hmm.
say that she made up her mind that she was done, but she was scared of being alone. But she wanted everyone to know that she loved him, and that's the part where you were saying like she wanted to be on here to tell her own story, so it wouldn't be like they would write, the story for them. So they're sitting there, and Micah's like, "Okay, since we came together, my first thing is like I'm gonna get you over there and get you back to Boca and be fine." They start having a civilized conversation about the logistics. I'm freaking out. And this is weird. I should not freak out about people acting civilized. But I'm so
It's so weird, though. It's unusual.
traumatized by the plots that I'm like, okay, what is happening? Why are we being logical and all that?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Plath family all gather because it's like Voltron. Everyone put
Yeah.
all your things together and they're like, well, you can't go by yourself. Be sure that you're not going to be. I don't think they're wrong, terrible as it
No.
sounds, because like you said, I think that Veronica's in shock, but I think like when she's had time to play it out, it's like, y'all not gonna play me one more time. We
Right.
don't know what's gonna happen with the cameras away and all that stuff. So we see that the producers, oh sorry, text comes up on the screen with
Right.
like documentary style music, and it's like the producers made sure Veronica made it home okay, and the next day, accompanied by a police officer, Micah collected his belongings in Boca, and they haven't spoken ever since that day. I'm like, what is this Netflix documentary in the making?
Right.
The path to Plath.
Right. This is the part of the true crime doc where you've accused somebody of murder for 4 episodes, and then it's like we've reached out to their lawyers, they haven't responded back. Like, that's this part where it's like, hey, to cover my ass, you've been calling them a murderer for 4 hours straight. We tried
Yeah,
to talk to them, they didn't want to say anything.
yeah.
Like, it felt out of place for this show.
I know.
It was weird.
All that was missing was like we reached out to Veronica and she declined to be
Mm-hmm.
part of the document.
Her representatives have declined to respond.
Oh, and if you're wondering where Barry was when everything was done and we find out that they're
Ugh.
separated, Barry suddenly shows up, the smiling assassin, and is like, "Oh, and then I never called her a liar. I just said she embellished. Then it turns out that she's a liar." And then we find out in the virtual realm, it's not a video game, just the internet. You can say that
Mm-hmm.
Veronica is spewing untrue things. And I'm like, and I guess those are the things that you referred to at the beginning of the
Yeah.
season when you were saying all of the things
Yeah.
that she was
Which
saying.
oh.
I know, which I don't know if it's true or not, because the way Micah was like, I he used a certain choice of words, which was like I chose a path or something like that, and I
He
was
said he was living a double life.
yes, he was living a double
Yeah.
life, and I was like, what that mean, sir?
Yeah. It could mean all the shit that she was saying before. It could also just mean like, yeah, I was lying to her about being in a relationship. Meanwhile, I'm slinging my dick all around Georgia and Florida. Like, I don't know. Um, but whatever his reasoning, oh, this showed me that I'm ready to be with somebody, but I'm like, no, stop.
No, that was
It's
weird. He
none of
said,
that. It's none of that.
but he said the therapist. So I hope it wasn't the therapist we saw, because he said the therapist said, like, did you ever think that? Did he say God brought
Yes.
Veronica into your life to
Yeah.
show you that you're ready for? I was like, you don't have to do all that. Just
No.
decide you want to be in one, and then don't cheat. I
Listen,
don't
my
know.
my therapist, Dr. Kim, would never. Like, she doesn't tell me, hey man, by the way, God did this. She'd be like, okay, so let's talk more about how does that make you feel? Like, what do you how does it where does that come from, do you think? It's not gonna be a I'm giving you the answer. That's not how therapy works.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I think that's the end of that. That was the breakup that took forever to happen. But
Mm-hmm.
I am glad that it finally happened. I am glad that they went their separate ways, because I don't know if the plot should be dating people. It doesn't end well, and they'll
No.
always end up picking each other. So
Yeah, I
I
I
don't know.
mean, the only way this could work is like old timey Egyptian pharaoh style. I don't want to get into what that means, but like,
Oh
it's kinda,
no,
they
no,
can't
no,
let
no,
outsiders in.
no. They
Like,
just need to
any
work on it. They
Zach is gonna be next.
What they're missing is family therapy.
Yes.
That's
They have
what they
trauma.
need. They need like true honesty and family therapy, but we can't get that. We can't get
No.
true honesty in that together. So, it's going to be a long ride.
Well, because really, if they were to have that, Barry and Kim would need to own up to a lot of mistakes they made in their parenting and a lot of things they did wrong along the way that, while they might have been good intended and they thought this was going to be a great solution, have not produced good results for anybody. And
Yeah.
so, like, they would need to own, they're never going to do that. And so instead, it's no, 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 we did everything correct. Our family is perfect. It's these damned outsiders that keep on coming in. It's like, no, man, this is not what that is.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. All right. We will take a break and be back with the one of the ousted family members. And we're back. But before we get there, let me talk about the quick phone call because we didn't talk about the bride. The next day
Oh,
after the wedding,
this
was
was
Lydia
gross.
wearing pajamas to the airport?
Yeah, she was in full silky pajamas on the way to the airport.
Okay, wedding night, wedding morning. Okay.
Right?
Um,
They're probably comfortable for a flight, I guess.
sure. She said she was they're going to Europe for their honeymoon and they had not booked a return ticket. And I was like, good.
Yeah,
Stay
stay
far,
there.
far away from your family. And even if you come back and they're filming season 8, you tell them, no, thank you. I don't
Yeah,
want
I'm still in
any part
Germany.
of this because they will create something. And like you said, Zach is next. Like, who else is left? Well, we don't know.
Well,
So,
I've heard that Tegan and Ethan are already broken up, so maybe
oh,
Caitlin is still holding on.
yeah, I'm saving all that for the Olivia section, but I heard they're back. I heard
Fair.
they're back together
Oh no.
on there. So
Well,
we'll see
oh
what
brother.
happened.
Okay.
So then she calls her mom, and then her mom is having a conversation with Ethan, which we'll get into. But Ethan from nowhere is like, "How did the wedding night go? And did you?"
Ugh.
I'm like, "What,
Ugh.
Barry the second? What?"
Why do you want to know?
I will say this, unlike MAFS, where I hate when they talk about the consummation and all that, because I mean, I know these people have had sex, they've done it. I wanted to hear this was going to be answered. Not how it went. I just wanted to know how this was going to be answered. Lydia responded exactly how I thought she would. She's like, it's
Yep.
between us, it's pure, it's beautiful. And I'm like, okay, did y'all actually, was it a fumble of limbs or did you actually have sex? But then Zach, I'm like, okay, maybe something happened. But then Zach started talking about soul ties. If you watch Love Island, soul ties is
Right.
crazy. And he said, and our chemical reactions and your surroundings. And even the producer was like, huh? Like
Yeah.
verbatim. And they were like, oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. I got carried away. And I'm like, okay, now I don't know if anything happened. Because at first I was
Well,
thinking something happened. Now I'm like, okay, what?
he did say like there's a chemical reaction like when you have sex with your surroundings, and they're like, what? When you have sex with your surroundings? He's like, I mean, your surroundings when you have sex. So it seems like they think they had sex. I'm not sure if they did, but they might have just like mashed pelvises together for a while, then went to sleep. But it seems like they believe they've had sex. He believes they've had sex at least. I don't know what they actually did.
Oh my god. And there's no
Yeah.
way to verify this. I mean, we don't need verification, trust me. It's just
We're only gonna find out when she's pregnant.
I want I want Lydia to have a fulfilling sex life. That's just, that
Yes.
girl is just pure goodness. The girl has
Yeah.
no drama, doesn't wish anything on anyone. I did think it was weird how they kept going on and on about how their wedding was peaceful, there was no drama and nothing was happening. And I'm like, is this on purpose or do they really not know? And if not, how do they not know?
I think they were shielded. I think that maybe the reason we haven't seen a whole lot of Barry is because he likes Zach. He obviously likes Lydia a lot. I think that he might have been shielding them from all that was going on. And we know that they got into Ethan's jalopy and left like before everything went really bad. So like it might be that once they were gone, everyone's like, don't bother them. They're trying to have sex all night and we'll just have our fight here and like not tell them, which is what I would appreciate. Like if I'm Lydia, don't tell me that Mike has to go to the hospital. Don't even the next day, don't tell me anything. Let me go to Europe and enjoy my time. And like, I don't want to have this on my mind for that whole flight.
Yeah.
So it might have just been Barry for the first time ever in life being a good parent and like shielding his child from some shit that's going to mess up their day.
A part of me actually felt like she knew because when she called and Ethan was doing, how did the deed go down? Was it good? How do you want to know if your sister found it good? That's weird. So after they told her about the fight, she's just like, she wasn't like, oh my god, or oh, she was just like, okay, thanks for
She's
the update, I guess. What else?
well,
What else is new?
she, I think in the beginning she was like, "Oh no," because I said, "Okay, so we had to go clean all of Micah's stuff because he and Veronica broke up." She's like, "Oh, I should call Micah."
Yeah.
She seemed concerned, and then it's like, "Yeah, anyway." So then he almost died in this fight. It's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna go. I'll just leave you guys to handle that, I guess."
And then
Ugh,
the last thing Ethan tells them is, hey, Zach, make sure you fill the croissants with cream.
what the fuck? Um,
And Kim
for,
laughs.
of course, Kim laughs. First and foremost, I love a croissant. I've never had one filled with anything. That's not even a thing. Like a cream filled croissant, that sounds gross to me. Secondly, like, why are you trying to make sure your sister gets nutted in, man? That's a weird thing to want for her. It's a weird thing to be thinking about yourself. Like, it is bizarre. The only thought that I have is he is so convinced that Zach is gay that he's like, well, of course they're not having sex. He's gay. He can't have sex with her. So I think he's trying to make them uncomfortable by talking about it, knowing that it's not happening. Little does he know, Zach is probably awkwardly having sex with her all the time now, and it's probably
Yeah.
horrible.
Ethan is his father's child. And also it just
Yeah.
shows how much Ethan knows. Like, I mean, I
He doesn't know
just
Lydia.
I mean, there are no. I just mean, like, there are what do they call it? Like, I think Andy Cohen has said it before. He says it's his words. He's a gold star gay. He's never been with
Oh,
a
yeah.
woman. But it
Yeah.
is possible. Like, no matter how much convince yourself, like, oh, he's gay, he can't have sex. It is possible. Elton John was married. Like
Mm-hmm.
the guy on 90 Day, I can't remember his name, the hairdresser. He was
Oh,
married
yeah.
too. So I
Yeah, for a
just,
long time. Freddie
yeah. So
Mercury was married.
yeah, but it's just
Yeah.
so, why are you so concerned about it? And like, I know I'm saying like, oh, I want Lydia to have like a fulfilling sex life, but even if she doesn't have it, if Zach makes her happy in other ways, let it be. Like, don't bring it up until she comes to you. But just being that concerned that you have to make, that was like how many jokes in 5 minutes?
It was a lot.
It's
It was
too much.
basically all he said. And like, if she's not having a fulfilling sexual relationship, she's not coming to you,
Nope.
Ethan. She would go to probably Mariah, who would fumble it badly. But like, she would go to one of her sisters. I don't think she'd even go to Kim about that. I think she'd go to
Oh, she said that.
Mariah or Hosanna and be like, yeah,
She said I would not go to my mother,
no,
for that. I
good
mean, I
Lord,
think
no.
the right thing is just have a good honeymoon, and I wish you guys start the start of a good, blessed marriage, whatever they believe in. But to say, fill the croissants with cream,
No, I feel gross.
I don't know what to tell you. All
Yeah.
right, so Olivia comes by, and Olivia is supposed to meet with Ethan
Mm-hmm.
because there's this whole thing about divorce. They make a whole thing about how Kim and Barry are not divorced, Olivia and Ethan are not divorced. It's been 3 years and that hasn't happened yet. And Olivia went on her Instagram to share that this is the last appearance she's going to have on the show. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
quickly read what she wrote. Today, the last seen episode of Welcome to Plathville that I will ever film will air. When I look back at the last 7 years of my life on this show, I feel so many emotions. In many ways, I grew up with all of you watching and supporting me. I was a sheltered, newly married, fundy kid. What's a fundy kid?
Fundamentalist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When the show started and had no clue who I was. The last 7 years have had their respective challenges, and there were definitely moments I didn't think I'd see the other side, but I'm here to prove myself wrong. This chapter closing brings some sadness. It is sad for me to see who I once knew, what they had the potential to become, and the path they chose instead. If it had been different, I wouldn't be where I am today. Grateful for the journey. This episode was filmed a while ago, and since then, I've worked hard to get out of my contract and succeeded. I don't know how she
Wow.
did it, but she needs to give a masterclass to everybody. Unless they also decided that there was no story to tell, or what I suspect, the Plath family were like, we're not filming with her anymore.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have not only endeavored to distance myself from hate, bullying, but also reported harmful behavior and tried to stand up for what is right. It sickens me to see violence, hatred, and dysfunction presented as entertainment. In lieu of closing this chapter, I'm going to take some questions from you. I still have an NDA, but I will answer everything that I can and be as transparent as possible. So if anyone's, not noticing, but Olivia's been making the podcast rounds.
Mhm.
She's been on a lot of podcasts, just speaking her own truth. And with the Ask Me Anything, someone was like, "Why did you meet with Ethan in your final scene? What were you expecting?" And she says, like, a producer who has a friendship with Ethan let her know that per their conversations with him, he expressed a willingness to give her an apology and take accountability. Did not sound like the Ethan she was married to, but she's not privy to how they spoke. But she ignored her gut, and she said that her only caveat was that she was not going to meet with him alone or in a private place, that it had to be
Yep.
public with all of the crew around, because their last interaction had Ethan being menacing, erratic, dangerous, and she told herself she would never spend time alone with him again. On the day of the meeting, she didn't know why he was late, and when he walked in through the gate, she could immediately tell that he was angry, and she felt stupid for believing better. But she learned her lesson, she listened to her gut. She has no plans to talk to him again. Now that she has seen some of the season air, she can see how much he hates her. He has no respect for her and plans to continue publicly disparaging her. I think that also answers questions that I had. I think the last one where I was saying, why was she still in communication with Veronica,
Mhm.
or even talking? But that means like she was still in the contract and she's still in some way, kind of like how when Lauren and Orion broke up and
Yep.
still had to be on there in some way. Because for me, after everything they put her through, I'm just like, stay far, far away from this family. Don't even, they're not worth your mental health or anything. So I just
No.
kept wondering why. And again, Veronica was not the most stable person to even. So I'm just like, if you're gonna be in contact with family, like, I'd rather you even with Ethan directly than her. Like, I don't know what, playing telephone. Ethan is the devil,
Right.
Veronica, we don't know.
Yeah.
So this answers my question. Like, she was on the contract, she kind of had to be on there. And then I guess in terms of like her podcast rounds, I think she just feels like what she told Ethan, it's her truth. And bringing awareness, in that. So
Mhm.
anyone that makes it through, makes it out, makes it out of the Plath, I'm happy for you and good luck to you. And then I find out that she lives in DC now. So now I'm going to
Oh.
have to find her. I'm,
Yeah. Track her
I'm
down.
joking, guys. I'm not. If I come across her, I will, but I'm not going to go like Olivia. Well, I can't say Olivia
You-
Plath. I don't know if she went back to her maiden name.
oh,
Olivia
book a
Plath,
photo
where are
session.
you? Come out. Yeah, so that was that for that. So they're supposed to meet, and he was 2 hours late. Ethan was late because he's an
Ugh.
asshole and it was a power move.
Yeah.
And they asked him why, and he was like, well, I had to do stuff, and if I had to finish what I was doing, then it would be dark, so I just had to finish what it was before I went to see her. Because when she walked in, I was like, why are they showing the timestamp? It was
Mhm.
3:50 at that time. I was like, oh, okay, this
Yep.
is why. Olivia has her own theory of like, he asked, like, there was a mistake. It's a he said, she said. Honestly, I don't even know if I
Yep.
should get into it. So he said, she said of, you didn't fill it out correctly. He's like, she left out her money. Olivia's making good money. Olivia gets flued out to take
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah.
Why would she live out her income? I don't know, but
I
that's
don't think she
his
would.
story. Yeah, that's his story, and that's why it's not done. And then all of a sudden, he decides that he wants it done immediately. And she says, coincidentally, that's when he announced that he's with Tegan. So now all she's asking him when they had the conversation is like, just give me grace. Like, I asked you to
Yeah.
do it. You took your time. Now I'm just like, give me time, like a few days to read it. It's like, well, you don't have to do anything. I have a lawyer. He'll do all that. She's like, I'm not paying. He's like, that's fine. He can do whatever, everything, and I'll take care of it. They just don't like each other. I know she says
No.
like he hates her, but I think they just can't stand each other. So no matter what you're saying, even if it's like, hey, do you want ice cream? All you're going to hear is like, you're an idiot. So
Right.
it's just contentious. It's a
You'd have to
contentious.
go get some nasty ass vanilla bean, wouldn't you? Like that's where this is gonna go if you ask for ice cream.
So the last thing that he does ask though is like, okay, if I'm not here, he has this look. I don't know how to do this when it's not a video podcast, but it's like he's staring her intently in the face, and
Mhm.
saying like, I'm not going to go back and forth with you on the details of this divorce. All I'm saying is like, let's just get it done. And she's like, I'm not fighting you on that. Like,
Yeah.
I want to get this
No,
done too.
this
I'm just
the
saying, give me grace.
the look that he was giving reminds me of like the Kubrick stare. You watch like Clockwork Orange. He's got this shot that he often does where the main character is looking, their head is pointed down but their eyes are looking up.
Mm-hmm.
That's how this was. Like this is an angry look where you've lost control of your face. You're
Mm-hmm.
no longer able to not look as angry as you are. And I'm like, man, for what? Like, she's not done anything to you in years. The whole
Mm-hmm.
issue is you slow walked your divorce for a year and a half, tried to trick her into getting back with you at one point. Like, you don't get to act like an asshole now. Like,
He's just mad that she's speaking her truth. Because the
yeah,
last thing he says is like, the last thing I'm going to ask you is to stop slandering my family. And
nope,
she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. He's like, why? He was like, my experiences are not slander. If that's
no,
what happened to me, I'm going to say what happened to me, and that's that. And he thinks that she just makes things bigger and that she has a victim mentality, and it just pisses him off. But at this point, Ethan, what doesn't piss you off? I think everything pisses him off. He just walks around just angry.
right. A non-black shirt pisses him off. Apparently, he's in a uniform all season. Like this, I just he has changed so radically
Mhm.
from the beginning of the show, and I can't help but feel like a lot of that was always there that he was hiding and covering up in the beginning, and now he's just like, I'm gonna let my freak flag fly. He was telling Kim he's been doing a whole lot of reading and learning. I'm like, nah, you've been like mainlining horrifying manosphere podcasts. I guarantee it. You are deep
Oh,
into Andrew Tate up to your eyeballs. I know it.
that's true. We didn't talk about their conversation because right after there was like it was so eerie. So they had like a controlled burn. Were you familiar with what that was before the show? Because this was my first time hearing it.
Yeah. So this is I grew up in Illinois, outside Chicago, which counts as like most of the state, but I really was like a half hour outside Chicago. And there was a big forest preserve and like a prairie preserve near my house.
Hmm.
Every year they light it on fire. Because if you don't burn it, number one, you're risking like a wildfire happening on its own because it gets
Hmm.
super, super dry and like one spark, the whole thing will go up. But number two, when you burn grass like that, a lot of the nutrients get like released into the ground, so then it'll
Hmm.
be healthy for next year. So
Hmm.
like controlled burns, I've never done one. I didn't know you just straight up poured gasoline on the ground. I thought they had a more like a better plan than that. But
Hmm.
yeah, they light the fields on fire near my old house every year. They do them in some of the farms near where I live in Iowa now. But it's
Hmm.
just if you don't do it, you're not gonna have as healthy of a harvest next year, and you might have an uncontrolled fire later on. Basically, when like the summer gets dry, lightning will hit your field, and all of a sudden the whole thing will go up.
I mean, good for them. That was just sitting right there for them to use because it was
Yeah,
symbolic. Just
it's
symbolic of
unreasonably responsible
everything.
of them. Like I didn't think they would do this.
Of their families. So Kim tells Ethan that she has a present for him and it was cigars. And she's like, she's never smoked it. He could probably teach her that she has smoked it once, but she inhaled it and you're not supposed to, which she is right. I don't smoke. I
Yeah,
don't smoke cigarettes or anything. But I went on a trip to Cuba and I took a Cuban class and made a cigar and all that stuff. And they did say that. They were like, don't inhale. I
yeah.
was like, oh, okay, good to know. I didn't know. I don't know anything.
See, I'd be like Kim. I've never smoked anything tobacco, but I do love weed a whole lot. And like I know that you're supposed to inhale as hard as you can and hold it for a long time. So I would do the exact same thing. Like I don't smoke often anymore because I live in a state where you can't get it. But like when I was in my earlier time, in my
Mm-hmm.
20s, I was a blunt smoker. This is my whole thing. So I would be like, oh, it's like a blunt? Cool. I know how to do this. And I'd be throwing up everywhere. Like it'd be a
Destroy
whole mess.
destroy your lungs.
Right?
Ethan does apologize to his mom, and his mom was just like, "Oh yeah, I just didn't like how you weren't free when you were with her and all that stuff." And he apologized for not sticking up for her. And he's like, the one thing I've learned in all of this is like, at the end of the day, you can't cut off family. Yes, you can,
Yeah.
but that's a whole different story. And he was like, yeah, it's freeing not to walk on eggshells. And I'm like him. If you have two kids who have found themselves in this situation, what that say about you?
Right. Two of them back to back.
Yeah,
Like, what's
introspection
going on?
maybe. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Um, yeah, so going back to Ethan, Ethan says like the last thing he's gonna say is like, oh, if he had anything to say to Olivia, he's just gonna say thank you for the good times, and he would like to legally close the chapter, and he will not purposely slander her like she has been doing him and his family.
We just saw a whole meeting where the whole theme of the meeting is if you're like Olivia, you're the devil. So stop. Why are you lying?
Yeah. Um, on the flip side, the Plathvilles are trying to continue doing cinema. Kim and Barry are zero point 0.2 miles away. They're doing this side by side between Kim and Barry and then Ethan and Olivia because, they weren't divorced. But I think maybe this is some time later, weeks, months later, they
Yep.
are officially divorced. They decided to do mediation and they got it done. They are at a wine bar because, Kim is living her best life now. Barry's still not drinking alcohol. And then she's like, I would like for you to buy me a drink. He's like, sure. Like,
Yep.
Barry hates Kim. Like,
Yeah.
can't stand her.
Hates her guts.
And he was like, what would you like? She was like, I would like a glass, but you can give me a bottle, yada, yada, yada. They come back with a glass. So they're all talking about everything, that happened. And I think this was just a either PR, blame everything on Olivia type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kim and Barry was like, at the end of the day, I think I feel better because the kids seem to realize that they had a good time and everything that happened was driven by Olivia. And I'm like, that is some huge talk to not take any
Wild.
responsibility. First, it was all Veronica about the fight, and now it's all Olivia. It is not everybody else's fault. At some point, where do the parents come in?
For real. No,
You know?
it's not if you have a problem every time somebody who's not blood related to you enters your sphere, the problem is not that everybody else in the world is wrong. It's that you've made a situation where no one is allowed to come in.
Yeah.
Like it's way too insular, which is what happens when you grow up on a farm barefoot and don't have exposure to the outside world.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, go to any like little tiny holler in Kentucky and Tennessee. This is what it is. They're not exposed to anybody else, and so they're like afraid of outsiders.
Yeah. So, it was funny when they did the parallel because, when Ethan asked her, don't stand in my family, Olivia says no. He gets up, walks away, and is like, have a nice life. And then at the same time, they show Ethan. Ethan is like, not Ethan, Barry.
Barry.
Barry's like, yeah, I'm
Same.
gonna. Barry's like, I'm gonna leave now. Bye. And then Kim is still going on about how about the bottle, and he's like, I
Oh.
think they have a bottle for you there. Like you don't know what it means until she goes up there. She actually wants to make good of it. It's like, oh, he said he has a bottle. Barry skedaddles quickly
Yeah.
away
There was
out of the wine bar.
there's a berry-shaped cloud of dust.
And the lady's like, yeah, there's nothing here for you. And she's like, wait, so he actually didn't get it for me? But if you now rewind and listen to what he said, he's like, I think they have a bottle for you waiting for you there. Meaning, bring out your card. We did
Yup.
mediations. I paid my half. Use your money. Buy your own wine. I don't owe you shit no more. Don't ask
Right.
me for a bottle of wine. But that was
Like,
so
I don't
funny,
even
though.
drink. Why am I buying you a bottle of wine? What are you talking about?
Oh my god, the plots are so funny. They can't do anything straightforwardly. So
No.
yeah, so that was how it ended by making themselves feel better. I don't know what shenanigans. Veronica gave them a storyline this season that I don't know where we're gonna go. I think in one of the podcasts, Olivia mentioned, the whole thing again about him asking for divorce. Like he didn't know if he wanted to get engaged to Tegan or something. But then by the time it happened, he heard that they broke up and then they got back together. So I don't know what is the most current news is, but it's gonna be tough. Like anyone trying to date them after there's proof. Usually when you date people, you don't know their past. You rely on what
Right?
they tell you, or if someone knows, you know. It's
Yeah.
on TV. They're talking. And I think she mentioned that Tegan's baby daddy and his partner reached out to her. Now,
Oh.
Veronica said something about, oh, they reached out to me too. But she's like, Olivia's like, I need to keep my mouth shut and stop telling Veronica stuff, which has been my whole point.
Yeah.
Don't contact Veronica. That is not a
No.
person you want to be aligned with. If you thought the plots were bad, don't make a part B, a part two
No.
of this.
She's a loose
So
cannon.
she's like, anything that happens to me, somehow it happens to Veronica too. So she takes the story and makes it hers. But
Mhm.
anyway, so Tegan's baby daddy and his partner reached out to her because they were concerned about certain things that they heard about Ethan that she's talked about and the daughter, to see if it's like a safe environment
Mm.
because she's dating Ethan and all that. And
Hmm.
she's like, I just told my experience. Maybe he's changed, maybe he's not. Like, Olivia is very smart about what she says. It's like, this is what happened to me. I
Yep.
don't know if that's the same thing. So she shares that, but that's the extent of it. But you know, but like I said, she's making the rounds. Like, if you just do a quick search, you can find a podcast. I know one of the ones that she was on was Positively Uncensored. She was on
Hmm.
there, and then she was on Sarah Fraser. So if you're interested in hearing her conversations with them, you can check them out. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know where they head from here. I don't know if this is. I'm with Olivia in at some point where she says, the dysfunction being sold as entertainment. It's getting dark and it's inching to a place of discomfort because I don't know what it is I'm watching. When you don't know what is the truth and what is not,
Hmm.
but we can deduce what certain truths are, and it's not pretty.
No.
It's like, okay, maybe we need a break from TV because is it like TLC where these relationships are longer because they want to check? Or some of this dysfunction just continuing because, okay, what else are we like? Kim seems like the kind of person that's like, what are we going to do to keep
Yeah.
this on? We have to, something like, and I don't know, it's a little bit uncomfortable. And I
Well,
just
I mean,
want
we
everything
can't
better.
we can't pivot back to being like sheltered hillbillies with no shoes that are in a family band. We can't make no one's gonna watch that. So we have to make something insane keep on happening. I will tell you, if they start filming and Tegan and Ethan are still together, she needs to run for her life because she's
Mhm.
going to be the one. Same goes for Kaylin. Zach is going to be there. And I'm very worried that the next season is going to be the whole family trying to convince Lydia to leave Zach.
But we don't know if they're
Like,
coming back, right?
well, that's true. Well,
We don't
that's
know if they're coming
true. But
back.
like, look, neither one of these two dodos can speak German. Like, they're going to have to come back eventually. Like,
There are probably Americans there. Like, it could be an
there are
expatriate
expats. Yeah,
church
my dad lived in
thing.
Germany for a while. That's true.
Yeah, they
I
could
don't
be like
know.
a church thing. I don't know what it is, but I feel
Yeah.
like Lydia is picking up, even though she seems head in the clouds, and
Hmm.
she's gonna protect him as much as she can. What
I
I'm
think
worried
so.
about is I think Isaac has the same anger that Ethan has, and
Yes.
it'll be like when they're all together, it's two Don Broads telling each other exactly, like just point, like encouraging
Yup.
each other. And he's 19, impressionable, and Ethan is who he's looking up to
Wow.
for all
Oh
the things,
no.
and I don't like that.
No, no, it's all bad. The worst part is if they don't come back, then the storyline is going to be that Zach is keeping her away from the family and forcing her to stay in Europe. Like, whatever it is, as long as they are together, that man is in the crosshairs. And I don't know what they're going to come up with, but they need to change their names and never come back and like cut off all contact because they're going to try to ruin this marriage by hook or by crook. And they're probably going to succeed because they are insufferable to be around.
Well, Zach should just go back to, where was he? Colorado?
Colorado. Yeah, go
Colorado,
back to the
yeah.
mountains. There's
Just go
bighorn
back.
sheep. They have a good time.
So, well, that was it for the season until, I don't doubt. Listen, if Sister Wives can keep going and they still have storylines, even though everyone's divorced, I do not doubt
Yep.
that TLC can come up with something for the Platts. I'm almost tempted. I'm probably not going to do it because I do not have time or space, but I was tempted to watch the old seasons just to see what they
Oh,
were like, to remind myself what they were like before all this came crashing down.
I might go back and watch the first season. It's probably pretty short. Probably
Yeah,
like 6 episodes, 5 episodes, or
6 episodes.
whatever. I could see you watching that just to be like, so y'all really made 6 episodes about not knowing who Spider-Man is, huh? That was your whole
Mhm,
okay.
mhm.
That became this.
All right. Well, guys, we will be back with Love is Blind. It has come back, so we will cover the first 6 episodes
It's a
and
lot.
talk about it. But Brian, share with people where they can find you.
Yep, y'all can find me at MAFS Virgin. We think we landed this timing correctly, where our last episode is going to air for season 10 right before the next season drops. Like serendipitous timing. We're heading toward decision day. Everything is bad. They're even trying to convince us that Jessica and Austin aren't going to make it. So, like, yeah, that season's wrapping up. You can follow us on Instagram and Threads at MAFS Virgin. I post a lot of funny memes and pictures, and then join our Facebook group, MAFS Virgin Fan Club. If you guys are into Halloween, my favorite holiday, I was telling Tane before we started recording, my decorations are up. I'm going to post pictures. My Google Earth view is my house at Halloween, and it's my favorite fact about myself. So if you want some Halloween stuff, I do fun pumpkin carvings too. Join our Facebook group, and I'll put some stuff in there later on in the month.
Yeah. You know where to find me. Also call MAFS. Oh, I forgot to say thank you guys. I was saying like I wanted my Spotify ratings to go past 200. It is past 200 now. Thank you guys for putting the ratings on there. It didn't drop, so it looks like there were 5-star ratings. So thank you.
There you go.
Thank you so much for that. So yes, you can do 5-star ratings on Apple Podcasts or Spotify ratings, and also you can drop comments on Spotify now. It'll be right on the episode. Stay subscribed so you do not miss out on any new episodes. And until next time, guys, bye.